5 years, thousands of miles, and one truck. Was it actually cheaper than staying in a house?
Over the past 5 years, we've spent an average of $67,100 per year living on the road. When we owned a house, that number was close to $75,400 per year. So yeah, at a first glance, traveling looks cheaper. But the reality? It's not that simple. And honestly, some of the most expensive parts weren't what we expected at all.
As far as our monthly bills and expenses, we spend about $2,650 a month. I'm using my 2024 numbers because I think that really gives a good range. Also share how that varied over the last 5 years. So the majority of money that we spend is groceries and diesel. On our average, we spend $584 a month on groceries. We shop at places like Walmart and Aldi in order to keep those prices down. We spend $532 a month on diesel. That depends a lot on how fast we're traveling and where we're traveling. Because we have 2 diesel tanks, we can go a little longer in order to get that cheaper gas somewhere down the road. Campsites, we have been spending about $510 a month. We will sprinkle in Harvest Hosts in there. We do have a Thousand Trails membership. If you want more amenities, then you're going to pay a little bit more.
Here's a quick look at the rest of our monthly bills and expenses. We'll get another peek at these when we discuss changes in costs over the past 5 years.
Next, let's jump into our average yearly bills and expenses. I wanted to show this because monthly bills and expenses are 2/3 of the cost of everything that we spend. So truck and camper insurance, boy, that one is a whole other conversation. It's a balance of what's reasonable. Our entertainment is, in my opinion, a little high, but not too bad. If we go out to see movies, if we go to any kind of event. As far as home maintenance goes, we spend about $2,300 a year. That's not horrible. That's basically anything that breaks. I think I'm going to run to the 5-year plan, but you can see how much we spend yearly on each of these categories. So let's look at monthly bills and expenses over our 5-year period and compare them to how much we typically spent in our Sticks and Bricks house. Since I didn't pay for campsites when I had a house, that is where we have our mortgage in there. And I think that's a reasonable comparison. Our mortgage was right around $1,200. As far as cell phone, we basically have my cell phone, Gary's cell phone. I'm still paying for my daughter's until she graduates, the Starlink when we're using it, and a business cellular SIM card for internet. But we don't use Starlink every month. That's why it may not be quite as high. Since we're out west, we're going to be using Starlink pretty much every month. As far as DEF goes, it is what it is. We tend to spend a little more DEF when we're out in the mountains, but in general, it's not too bad. As far as diesel goes, that varies quite a bit based upon, how much we travel, how far we travel, as well as the market. Dining, I was actually a little surprised that our dining was more when we were at a house, but maybe that kind of makes sense. We're not moving around, so you move to different restaurants to have the variety that you like. Groceries, I've been trying to steadily work these down, although you'll see I added a home supplies category in 2023. That was because we started spending a little too much at Walmart. I was throwing that all in the grocery category. It really wasn't paying attention to exactly what we were getting. So I needed to get a little bit more detailed to watch our tracking. So in reality, the groceries haven't changed dramatically. As far as services go, that's our mail, water, dump, laundry, propane. We paid a lot more at our house because in that I included electric, gas, a weed service come by. We had Terminix, all in there as far as our monthly bills, which was a heck of a lot more than what we're paying in our camper. But things offset on other places. Truck maintenance, that includes regular oil, filter changes. We did have a larger bill in 2021 because we had to replace our drag link. That's another story. There was another video about it. In 2024, we also had to replace our truck batteries. So that's why those years are a little bit higher. We do have tires this year. That is going to be an expensive adventure. So planning for those larger things is a big deal. I've already talked about the truck insurance. Yeah. So National General is working for us. So truck tags, it's a lot cheaper in Florida than it is in Illinois. Shocker. You know. Home maintenance has been generally similar, but we did have a lower amount in 2025, partly because Gary was not able to do a lot of that stuff. You just kind of defer some of that. Clothes, I think we've been fairly consistent with. We just replace things as we need. Electronics and home appliances, a lot of that has to do with if I need another cord, cell phone case. It also includes small home appliances, like I bought a USB charging brick. We bought a small fan, not big enough to be considered an upgrade, but it's a small bucket, but it's a bucket. I already talked about entertainment before, so that has been varying a bit. Although I did find it was interesting, we spent a lot more on entertainment prior to traveling full time. Although I think that, again, makes sense. If we're sitting in one area, you want to be entertained more. If we're driving around and seeing the rest of the country, I don't need to be entertained as much because part of the driving is the entertainment. Transportation, that is if we have to do a car rental or if we're taking a flight somewhere or doing Ubers and stuff like that. So it's a small amount, but I do want to track that. Subscriptions are a constant nemesis. We have an obnoxious amount of subscriptions. I would prefer to just get rid of most of those, but it's just unfortunately one of those added expenses that you do when traveling full time. So, if we really combine all of our bills and expenses, it kind of makes us look like, dang, we're doing great. It is definitely a lot cheaper than living in a house. And if I looked just at this, I think everything would be beautiful and it would be, yes, I could say absolutely it's cheaper. Not necessarily. So the next area is upgrades. I wanted to make this a completely separate category because can be ginormous. And for us, it has been. Anytime we either replace things and it's a much better solution than what it was before, it is considered an upgrade. So we replaced our recliners. When we replaced our dinette with this jackknife sofa, when we upgraded our solar and batteries and power distribution and suspension on the truck and e-bikes and all that kind of stuff in order to help us. Those are all considered upgrades. And I think really the upgrades go to quality of life. So I can't complain too much, but I can complain a little bit because it's kind of ridiculous. The amount of money that we spent on upgrades far surpassed our house bill on at least 1 year. In 2024, when we got the truck suspension, that was a huge expense. In 2023, when we had to redo our nose cap because of major stuff, I put that as an upgrade. It really wasn't an upgrade, but this is an area where you can really get yourself into trouble if you are on a fixed budget like we are right now. Those upgrades can kill you. So I think otherwise, I think we've been doing pretty well. It's the upgrades that we really have to not do unless absolutely needed. We don't expect to do a lot in 2026. I say that, and then we're actually at a place right now where we're getting an upgrade. So, but that's another story. Yeah, there's always going to be something to upgrade or to maintain. So make sure to keep those costs in mind. Before setting out into traveling full time, there are several things that we did from a financial standpoint that set us up for success. The first thing was our truck and our camper were paid off. Secondly, we have no actual debt. So we do have credit cards, but we pay them off every month. A little separate from this, but we are actually starting to pull our money from Gary's retirement account. And that's a little scary, especially for us being younger. We started full-time when Gary was 55 and I was 48. And we've got to take that money and extend it as far as we can go. When we sold our house, we ended up putting a lot of that in an emergency account. And we kind of use that money as a buffer, especially in today's market. Like right now, we're having some issues with Iran. That's causing diesel to go up, and our retirement funds have slipped down. That emergency fund gives us that flexibility to pull from that instead of pulling from our 401ks during these down times. And when that goes back up, which it will, then we'll go ahead and pull some extra of that and then replenish our emergency funds. So that's kind of the way we balance some of this stuff that's going on in the stock market. And honestly, we don't worry about it. One of the biggest advantages that we have seen by being on the road versus our sticks and bricks costs is those bills versus expenses are quite a bit different. In our sticks and bricks, we had a lot of solid bills. You have your mortgage, your gas, your electric services that you're doing. When you go full time, a lot of those bills that you had really convert into expenses. And one of the best examples are campsites. So I had a mortgage. My mortgage was $1,200 a month. I budget $1,000 a month for campsites, but I don't have to spend all that. I can do more boondocking or do more state parks or county parks rather than going to a more expensive park. You can kind of play around with those numbers, and that really does help. While these numbers may work for Gary and me, they may not work exactly for you. But one thing, if you noticed, a lot of those categories didn't really change much between full-time RV life and having a sticks and bricks house. But the real difference, it's not about how much you're spending, it's how you're spending it. You have a lot more control over where your money goes. Want to stay at a beautiful campground? Then slow down. Eat more at the campsite and walk instead of driving. Planning a long stretch of driving? Look for county parks or boondocking and have a solid meal plan so you're not tempted by restaurants along the way. Got some big maintenance or upgrade projects? Visit family or friends. It's a great way to catch up and save on diesel and camping. And if they have tools, priceless. At the end of the day, this lifestyle has been absolutely worth it for us. We just had to learn how to make our money work on the road. If you're thinking of doing this, I hope this video helps give you a clearer picture of what your budget might look like. If you do have any questions, just let us know in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. And if you found this useful, please do the like and the subscribe and comments thing. It really helps channels like us find viewers like you. Take care, and we'll see you on the next trail. Wow.